Hello everyone, welcome back to another Hornby Thomas review. Now, unlike my last two reviews, I will not be running this loco. He does run, and you will see him in a few videos coming soon. But I'm currently doing work to my layout right now. But I wanted to bring you all this video, so... today I'm going to be reviewing the very, very rare Hornby Thomas variant of the Flying Scotsman. Real quick before I get started, I do want to point out that my Scotsman, you can see this rod, there should be a rod here, but it's missing on mine. So I have to get a replacement for that. So don't worry, I am aware of that. I will be getting a replacement for that very shortly because I have to order some traction tires for my Oliver. So when I do that, I will get the part for Scotsman. So, yeah. So this Flying Scotsman, as you know, nowadays goes for a lot of money. This one was a lot of money, but I'm very happy I have him. I believe this version is based off of an it's like I believe it's an A2 or an A3. Somebody let me know. But before I get started with looking at him and everything, I did quickly want to compare him to his brother, Gordon. So, this is an 80s model of Gordon. It is slightly different. You see this part is black rather than blue because this is actually a chassis from the 2016 Gordon. Besides that, it's pretty much the same. So if we look at the body of the two, I did think initially that they'd reuse the same body, but it's not. It's different. First of all, if we just look at the cab ends here, you can see that this bit is different. There's riveting here, there's none here. We look at where the handrails, those aren't on here. It's not just that they're painted blue, they're just not on there. The window shape is different. The whole, that's all different. The safety valves might be the same sculpt though, just due to age. They're darker on here. They both got the little hump thing right here, which was on the A2s and A3s. The dome placement, actually, I just noticed is different. I believe the lining might be the same. But if we look at where the domes are, this one is obviously further up and this one's more centered. Even the... I'm not going to compare the paintwork because obviously they're different, but one thing I did want to point out is they skipped 2 lines on Gordon. On Scotsman, they're all painted. Scotsman also has the name board here. Gordon does not have a name board, which he shouldn't, so there's nothing wrong with that. There's an extra bit of added detail here, which is absent on Gordon. The wheels are different, the rods are different, and the front ends are different as well. I thought they might have been the same. This detail is slightly different. They're trying to give off the same look, but they are different. The little name, the little badge thing there. I forgot what its actual name is, I'm sorry. Those are different, and even the front end is different. We look, the riveting detail is there, but not on this one. Well, it is here, it's just in different places. It's along here. So yeah, I just figured I would show that they are different, because I thought they just repainted Gordon, but no, it's actually a different sculpt. I would show off the tenders, but obviously this is where they completely diverge. Gordon's tender is a little bit too small for him because they used a Fowler tender because it has the shape of Gordon's tender, while this is a L&ER tender. So I believe the Scotsman was, I don't know what railway book he was introduced in because I don't have that story. If anyone knows, let me know. He was introduced in tender engines in the television series though, but it only showed off his tenders. And he has 2 tenders in the show and in the books, but his Hornby model and his Ertl model only have 1 tender because this version of Scotsman had 1 tender. So it's not... it's not inaccurate because Scotsman did have 1 and still has just the single tender. He didn't have the, or she, depending on what Scotsman we're talking about right now, uses the single tender much more than the double tender. So if we look at it here, the paintwork is excellent. It essentially is a regular Scotsman, although I believe this lining is unique to the Thomas model. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong. Usually they just go around. This dips in. I believe the use of white and red is a little bit different on this Scotsman. I don't have a railroad one to compare it to, or an ultra detail. I would like to get an ultra detailed one, but as of right now I don't have one. Nice things about this model. It's my one of the first Thomas engines with the sprung buffers. None of my other Thomas locos have sprung buffers. I believe Bear and Spencer, maybe Murdoch might, but I don't have them right now. It's a really cool feature. And on the tender as well. The tender has sprung buffers as well. You can remove the front coupling if you want to make it a little more realistic. I keep it on there because I use these a lot. I just cleaned all the wheels on my engines and on my layout, so the wheels are really shiny and clean, which is really nice. The in-cab detail also I forgot to show. I'll bring back one just real quick. It is also different compared to the older sculpt. This is a newer sculpt than this one. You can see that even the in-cab detail is different. There's a spot here where you're supposed to put the crew, and on here it's a flat flooring. Well, it's not like it really matters, but figured I'd point that out. So the name, Flying Scotsman, very, very nice. It's the single chimney version, which I believe is accurate. It is different looking to the one in the CGI series. The CGI series had smoke deflectors, and it might have been a double chimney, I don't remember. And he had the second tender. What's nice about this model is at the time there was no CGI. And the only basis to go off of was the Railway series, because in the television series they never showed the front part of Scotsman. So I like what they did here with the face, and essentially made it how we would have looked in the model series. I can guarantee this is how he would have looked. It looks like a lot of people say, I have to keep bringing Gordon back. I'm sorry, they're very similar. A lot of people think that this is just his face repainted, but it's not. It's a different sculpt, or at least a resculpt of this face. You can see there's a little line there where the nose and the mouth thing is on Gordon too, but his goes all the way down. Well, on this one it stops there. He has these lines, these little lines there, and a little bit on his chin there. Gordon is absent of that. And the paintwork also is different, but if we just cover this part up, you can see that the mouths are sculpted differently as well. So it has more of a wider smile, while this one's a little bit closer. On the top, the eyes are a little bit larger on this one. That's not just the paintwork. And the eyebrows, obviously, are different. So, I really like what they did with this model. It looks basically how I would imagine he would have looked if they showed his full model in the original series, which I believe was Season 3 or 4. I believe Season 3. He has that sprung back wheel. I'm going to check if Gordon has it. No, okay, that's weird. Gordon doesn't have it. He has this sprung back wheel, which most of the older Hornby 060s with the Type M motors, like the Ginties and Class 08s, they have sprung back wheel, which is very interesting. Also, this part is separately pivoting. Newer Flying Scotsmans, you'll see, usually will be molded up like that. I don't know how I just got that to stay, but usually they'll be like that, and this wheel will be unflanged. Same thing on your Spencer and A4 models. It'll be like that, but I like how, just like Gordon, it's a separate piece. I like that. I don't know why they stopped doing that. He is tender driven, like a lot of the other engines are in the range. So, as you can see, it keeps its 8-wheel configuration with the 2 traction tires there. This bit rotates. The coal is pretty realistic. If I just look at the other one, yeah, I don't know, I would say it's pretty realistic. It's rather large, but coal, for what they use in steam engines, their grade of coal is a lot larger than something you'd put in like a charcoal grill or something. So that makes sense. I have the porthole here in the corridor for the crew. I don't know if you want to if you add a second tender. I don't know if this is if this is the model that had the secondary tender in real life. I don't know how that would work out. I plan on just keeping him a single tender, but my brother is begging me to get a second tender, so we'll see. I'll leave you guys in the comments to, you know, what do you think? Should I get a second tender or is a single tender cool? Because I kind of just like the single tender, but I might get a double tender if that's what people want to see. LNER on the side, London Northeastern Railway. Let's see, I think you can see it. Yeah, there's detail in there too. There you go. And the Scotsman in real life is known for its record. I think the non-stop journey from London to Scotland, I believe. Oh, and something I was thinking about what I was going to say earlier. This bit is a blessing and a curse. This is a sprung. I've tightened mine, and I'll explain why in a second, so it's not as easy to move. But it's like a sprung, you know, bit where the tender and loco connect. When on older models, they're placed. They're just, you know, you can't move them. And it's nice when it comes to, like, if it's going around like a tight curve or something, it can conform, see, to the tighter curve, and then if it's going around a wider curve, it can conform to the wider curve. But it is rather annoying because this is tender driven, so whenever it's pushing along, if this bit isn't tightened, you'll see, like, when it takes off, you'll see it, like, push in like that. Like, you can tell the tender's pushing the engine, and it's kind of unrealistic. But since I've tightened mine up, you know, you can't tell. But yeah, the livery and everything is super nice on this model. It's very expensive, unfortunately, so I would pick mine up if you can. The problem with these models is that they are so rare that they only get more and more expensive as years go on, unfortunately. Usually, as of the current exchange rate right now, he goes for anywhere between $400 to $600, which is a lot of money. And so I would pick it up now. If you're gonna pick it up, it's rather be sooner or later because it's only going to go up in price, and it's probably a good investment. So, yeah, thank you all for watching this video. I would love to run him. You will see him running in future videos. I just currently, as I said, my layout is kind of doing some work to it right now, installing some lights, including the rails. I'm working on expanding it. So right now it's a little bit, you know, under construction. But I will be uploading some episodes and some learning clips, the little segment clips, because those were filmed the day before I started doing everything. So thank you all for watching. I will tell y'all that this model runs very, very well, very, very smooth, no problems with running it. This model in particular was in a loft for 9 years. I went in and cleaned him up, and he works like new. So, very reliable. I believe it might be a ring-filled motor. I haven't opened it up, I'm assuming, because it's a tender drive unit. Very strong, very good runner, solid build, standard Hornby quality. You know, everything is just, the paint is on point, running's on point, the weight is very nice, nice heavy loco, but it doesn't slow it down or anything. So I would rate and I have a connection to the Scotsman, obviously. Well, maybe not obviously, I don't think I've explained it, but it is one of my personal favorites in the real world. So I would rate this model a 10 out of 10. It's a, you know, stunning model. It's a must-have. Maybe not the Thomas version, because not everybody wants to throw that much money towards a Thomas engine, which is completely understandable. But just a regular Scotsman model is very nice for anybody who is into model trains and model railways and British railways, all that sort of stuff. So thank you all for watching. Like and subscribe if you want, and I will have some more Hornby videos coming out soon, and I will give you all updates on the layout extension and all that. And leave your thoughts below of what you think about this model. And thank you all for watching.